Hello, everyone. Welcome to Heart Center Tarot. As always, my name is Marina, and I will be your guide for this portion of the journey. Welcome to everyone. You'll notice that I'm here by myself. Our esteemed colleague, Aley, has been without power since about 11 o'clock this morning. So I'm hoping that if the power comes back, that she will join me at some point. If not, it's moi. So there, I get to pontificate on anything political by myself. So thank you all of you for joining me. Thank you for being here. Innocent Potato, hello. Teacher Barbara, Edward Kenneth, Patrick Duncan, Barbara Nesper, Tea Garden Chicken, Rose Blue, Joyce Williams, Joyce Luther Williams. So Debbie Smith, hello. Hello, welcome to all of you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe as always. Help me get to that 6,000 mark. I'm at 5,200. Come on, we can do it tonight, okay? Yeah. Hello, Louise. Dumpy was telling military recruits to not recruit. Oh, Teacher Barbara. You know, it would not surprise me one little bit. Absolutely would not surprise me one little bit because, you know, them dark-skinned people, you can't trust them. You never know what they're going to do. So let me start off. Entertainment purposes only. This is a satirical look at all things political, all things in the news, and so on and so forth. So hello, Dawn Turner. Hello, Let It Rain. Debbie Smith, TW. Nice to have you all here with me. I feel kind of like, you know, I miss my buddy. I need to have someone, you know, that I can throw things at, and she can throw them back, and that's the. So hello, Fallon. Excuse me. My throat seems to be a little dry, a little parched. So that's good. That's good. So did anybody watch the Four Nations face-off hockey? Did anyone happen to catch that the last game between Canada and the US? Yeah. Well, Canada won in overtime, as we generally do. And our Prime Minister, not governor, Justin Trudeau, tweeted on X, and he says, "You can't take our country and you can't take our game." Yay! So, yeah, it was very, very fitting, you know, that particular series. And it reminded me, and some of you probably will not remember this, but way back, and I think it might have been in the 70s, when Canada was playing Russia, and it was a best of 7 game. And it was so exciting to watch all the games, and the people in the crowds, even the people at home. I know they couldn't hear us, but you know we were saying it anyway. And it was "Niet Niet Soviet, Da Da Canada." So yeah, that game reminded me of that. So yes, Dawn, you were asking about Aley. Her power has been off since about 11 o'clock this morning, she said. So I my fingers are crossed that maybe it will come back and she may at some point be able to join me. But yeah, it I feel like a one-armed paper hanger, without my buddy here. So yes, yeah, the Canada Russia games were excellent. They were really, really good. And of course, Canada won. What can I say? Hockey is Canada's game. So anyway, just a couple little things I wanted to talk to you guys about, and let's see if we can't pick up with some of the nasty cards and on the energy kind of behind this. Um, but Trump said on Fox News that Emmanuel Macron from France and the UK's Keir Starmer haven't have done nothing to stop the war in Ukraine. And that's the war that Ukraine started. It had nothing to do with, Russia invading a sovereign nation. No, no, it was, yeah, it was the Ukrainians who started that by just not giving up. So there you go. And that both of those leaders, both Macron and Starmer, are due to meet with Donald Trump at the White House next week. Imagine the energy in that room, if you will. And I don't think that they're meeting together. I think they're meeting um, individually with him. But I hope that as they talk to him, that they tell him that, you know what, the rest of the world thinks you're a moron. And we tend to agree. So, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to use the deck of characters. Let's see. How is Macron feeling about this meeting that is coming up? Oh yeah, it's a tornado. Oh, he's ready for it. I don't think he's going to hold back any punches. And what about Starmer? How's Starmer feeling? Starmer's going to give him the raspberry. Remember the old World War II? Yeah. I think that's exactly what he's going to do. Is yeah, he's going to stick out his tongue and neener, 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 someone is a wiener. Okay, yeah. So I don't think that is going to go over very well. And what about Trump? How is Trump going to react to what Macron has to say? Oh, the Divine Mother. Oh, yes. Yeah, he is. You know, in private talks, I am pretty confident that Trump folds like a cheap suit. The minute that anyone stands up to him, he just backs right off, right? He's like that bully in the schoolyard that as long as he's got all his buddies that are lined up behind him, yeah, he's going to knock your block off. But as soon as he realizes that there's nobody there, it's like, oh, yeah, tomorrow after school, be there. Okay, but how is Trump feeling about Starmer? Bring your own seat to the table. I think that both of these leaders, Macron and Starmer, are going to read him the riot act, and they're going to say, "Listen, we're going to move forward without you because You don't need us? Guess what? We don't need you. Sayonara. See you later. Hello, Michelle. Thank you for being here. And hello, Jane and Jana and Laura Hammond Davis. Hello. Uh, yes, let the Russians play Cossacks and robbers. Oh, yeah. So things, things are a little hectic in Trump world because the man is so busy. He is doing ever so much for the country that he said he is thinking about taking over the US Postal Service. That, yeah, he's going to manage the US Postal Service because, I mean, he's got so much free time between his golf games. What's another department for him to manage? What's another department for him to absolutely ruin? So, is he going to take over the U.S. Postal Service? Oh, an eye for an eye. Yeah, um, people are not going to tolerate that. They really aren't. Aw, poor Donnie. What's he going to do? And have you guys noticed that he does not look well? He really doesn't. The last uh, the last few weeks, it's like a slow, steady decline. Like it's almost like he's already dead. He just doesn't realize he needs to lay down. Entertainment, entertainment purposes only, right? Yeah. So now, alongside with all the other things, um, yeah. Oh, Laura Hammond, how can we best focus on our righteous fury? You know what? I think I think that you can focus that energy by looking at this as almost like a bad sitcom, where um, you know what the outcome is going to be within the first few minutes of the show, but it's kind of like a car crash you can't turn away. So I choose to think of it in terms of, yes, a comedy, a little bit of excitement. Oh my God, what's he going to do next? What's he going to do next? Um, and I still get, I can still get angry, but I tend to back away from that fairly quickly, by concentrating on, yeah, this has to happen. This needs to happen. It's people they signed up for the FA part of the deal. Now they're in the FO part of the deal. And yeah, it's some people are going to get smacked upside the head with a 2x4. Sometimes that's just the way it is. So the sooner that we know who all the players are and where they're hiding, the better we are to be able to handle the good things that are coming. And believe me, they are. There are good things coming. So, and here you go. Good advice from Michelle. Yeah, she says, I'm channeling it into mantra practices. They're eternal. I read a book on karmic payment by Swami Sivananda. They would not be doing what they're doing if they knew the consequences. Yeah, I think so. And you know what? Maybe they do to some extent. Maybe they do know the consequences and they just don't care. That almost makes it worse, right? Yeah. And Jana says, an eye for an eye, is that a maximum or a minimum? Well, I think you can kind of, I would say at a minimum, an eye for an eye. Yeah, absolutely. So, um, now, speaking of our favorite person, um, he has said also that Zelensky in Ukraine has no cards to play in the negotiations. That he doesn't even think he's very important, um, to all the meetings. So, who needs Zelensky? Well, it reminded me that didn't Donald um, want to talk to Zelensky about Zelensky giving the U.S., what is it, 50% of their earth minerals? Um, I don't know. I'd say that's a pretty good card to play. You need my earth mineral. You asked for them, you wanted 50% of them. Clearly, there's some value in there. But the other thing to remember too is now that Zelensky has been told, and Trump always tells on himself because, well, I mean, he's just a moron. Now that Zelensky knows there's more value in that than he thought, he can shop them around, right? Who else? Who else might need some of those earth minerals? And maybe the Ukraine can raise some money by selling some of those earth minerals, right? Absolutely. And Jana says, yeah, remember how Putin was going to take over Ukraine in 1 week? Yes, absolutely. Because, they were going in there to save the Russian speaking Ukrainians because they called out and they said, we need help. We're here in Ukraine, we're living under a dictatorship. And trust us, as Russian speaking Ukrainians, we know all about dictators. So, yeah, things are not going well for Putin. He knows that his days are numbered. Um, his stronghold on the country is waning. Their economy is in turmoil. There, people are suffering. So yeah, it's not looking good for Putin. Yeah. And yes, Laura Hamadivas, Iran might be interested in those rare earth minerals. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Russia is using mules and donkeys now. Yeah. Yeah. But yes, Michelle, one of the things that Putin is able to exploit is, yes, he knows how to deal with people who can be flattered and who can be bought. And oh my goodness gracious, yeah, Trump is at the front of that line. Me, right? He so desperately wants to be like Putin, except he doesn't have the training. Um, he doesn't have the intellect, doesn't have the background. Um, He doesn't have the strength. Yeah, yeah. No, I don't think he can meet the standard. Not at all. Hello, Tinkerbell, Charlie C. Sage. Thank you for being here. And oh, Michelle. Yes, eggs are $1.16 a dozen in Mexico. Wow. Wow. Absolutely. Yeah. That, and they're not that expensive up here. Um, I think the last time that we bought eggs, and they are brown eggs from a Hutterite colony, so they're they're grain fed. They're just much better tasting than just plain old white. And I think we paid um, $8.99 for 18 eggs. So there, yeah. Sharon Ann says Turkey is sending eggs to the U.S. due to bird flu. Yes, yes, yeah, yeah. So, I'm trying to. I want to make sure that I'm keeping up with the chat, but I also don't want to lose sight of some of the things that you guys are asking and so on. Yes, Laura, China could rebuild Ukraine in exchange. Yes, absolutely. And yes, here we go. That was one of the things that I was going to look at. Brown just got fired, and Brown replaced Milley as the chief of staff. The joint. Hold on. He is chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And yeah, he's been in this position for 16 months. And yeah, Trump sent him on his merry way today. Now, before you start wondering about what it has nothing to do with the fact that, he is only the second Black general to serve as chairman. That has nothing to do with it. What really, really upset Trump was that, this guy is in support of diversity, equity, inclusion, whatnot in the military. And that's just a bridge too far. So there you go. There you go. So, yes, Jane, I think a lot of people are looking at maybe buying chickens. The problem is that, you start off with the baby chicks, and depending on where they come from, if they've been exposed to bird flu, you raise them. They cost you money to raise them, and then they just infect the rest of the flock, and they die off. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think since 2022, it's like 15 million birds have died. Yeah. So, and it has now that HBN1 has now transitioned not only from bird flu, but it's gotten into cattle, and it's also people are catching it as well. So there you go. It's going to be interesting. And artist Liz, about 30 bald eagles died. Oh, wow. Yeah. And yes, yeah, cats, dogs, and people too. Hi, Sunflower Diamonder. Nice to see you here. Yeah, it's, you can almost look at that and think in terms of, the bald eagle is dying. Isn't the bald eagle the symbol of America? It's almost like, it's a sad commentary. Anyway, hello, Annette. I grew up with parents who lived through the Great Depression. If eggs are too expensive, I just eat oatmeal instead. That's right, innocent potato. Yeah, we do what we have to. Yeah. And so, and Jane says there are only two of us. I guess I can buy eggs. I check out powdered eggs, and that's super expensive. Yeah. Yeah, but hey, Garnet, but I thought the day after Trump was sworn in, the price of eggs was going to come down and the economy was just going to turn around as if by magic. And everything was going to be great. Wow. I wonder what happened. So, what else? What else do I have here? Oh, J.D. Vance says Ukraine has no path to victory and that Trump isn't appeasing Russia. He's being a statesman. See how wrong you people have been, thinking that, Trump is just giving in to anything that Putin wants. He's not. He's being a statesman. Wow. So, and he said that there's a false, a false idea that the U.S. has given Russians everything they want. Well, now, excluding the country that Russia attacked unprovoked, that country isn't involved in the peace negotiations. Wow. Okay, so what does Zelensky think of what J.D. Vance has said? Aggressively hydrate. So, JD, take a drink and then take another drink and then just keep drinking until, when you shake your head, the rattling stops. Yeah. Oh, Zelensky is going to go down in history as being a great leader, someone who is admired, someone who is revered. And the same cannot be said about Felon 47 and his little band of merry thieves. So, okay. Speaking of band of merry thieves, apparently Kash Patel is the new FBI director. Well, that's going to go over really well, right? Okay. Okay. I'm going to star that, Laura Hammond Davis, so that I can get to that. Yes, Sharon, J.D. Vance has no power. The talk that he gave in Brussels, oh my Lord Almighty, it was, like, how do you stand up there and spew that horseshit with a straight face? Like, don't tell me he's not on drugs. Yeah. Okay. So, in terms of how the world is going to remember Remember Trump. How are we going to talk about him and whatnot? Yeah, treadmill. It's just, you move as fast as you can, you just don't get anywhere. Yeah, he's he is not going to be he's not going to be remembered. In fact, I think that there's going to be I can see it, university and college courses on um, on how not to end up being like a Donald Trump. You know, I'm sure that it won't be long before doing something really, really ridiculously stupid. We're going to start calling it, oh, did you pull a Trump? Let's start it. In fact, let's start it right now. Whenever you see somebody doing something really stupid or when they say something ridiculous, you can say, are you trumping me? Are you seriously trumping me right now? Yes. No, Annette, nothing but bad words. No. And, you know, I can't hear you. So if you want to use some of those extra spicy words, you go ahead. You go ahead. Yeah. And okay. So Laura says Elon's private security has been deputized by the U.S. Marshal Service and equals the Secret Service protection of the president. You don't say. Well, now, so then, should anything happen to the president, we know where to go to ask questions, right? Absolutely. How's that going to work out? How's that going to work out for 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 Elon? Elon, and remember, you can't spell felon without Elon. Um, How's that going to work out for him? Well, he's going to end up being a member of a very exclusive club, and that is when his usefulness is no longer of benefit to Donald. He's just going to cease to exist. Yeah, just not there. Absolutely. And yes, Patrick, he is. He is. And um, and I think some of you might have heard me say this before, but one of the things that that I've noticed with Elon is how fond he is of taking his 4-year-old son and putting him on his shoulders and walking around with him like, oh yeah, my son is head and shoulders above everyone else. He can do whatever he wants. He can spread his boogers on the Resolute desk, and that's okay, and all that. The reason that he does that is because he is using that child as a human shield. And that is the most cowardly and despicable thing that I have ever, ever witnessed or felt. It is just, to say that it's despicable, just isn't strong enough. I think that yes, Annette, you could feel sorry for that little boy. I hope that he has people in his life who are able to help him ground and to help him see that that the way his father is not normal. That yes, that child is going to be in therapy. Otherwise, he is going to end up being a carbon copy of his dad. And I have a feeling that at some point, um, that child is going to come to the realization that my father didn't love me. My father used me as a human shield to protect his sorry ass. Yeah. Not good, not good. So let's hope that things turn around for X, and his name is X. It's a Agjiwan. I don't know. It's letters crumpled together and symbols and yeah. And who would do that again? Who would do that to a child? Yeah, and yeah, and yes, artist Liz. Yeah, that that little boy was echoing things that he has heard over and over and over again. Um, and because no one is allowed to correct him or say anything to him in any way, shape, or form, because 4-year-old can do whatever he wants. Yeah, you know that he's heard those things on multiple occasions. You're not the president. You need to leave here. Yeah. Shut your effing mouth. Yeah. And yes, Charlie, he should be with his mother, but Elon has physical custody of him right now, and he will not allow the boy to be with his mother, to have anything to do with his mother. And I think that's probably because some of the other kids are a little older and they could be a little heavy on the shoulders, and they don't have nearly the the small child appeal that the 4-year-old does. I think that is just absolutely despicable. Hello, Mark Willem. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Uh, yes, yes, Charlie. So, okay. Let me see. Let me see what else. What else I had? Oh. Okay, yeah. When we were talking earlier about the bird flu, um, one of the he's a fourth generation farmer in Clarence, New York, and he says that that egg farmers are in the fight of their lives right now, and that he had to make a decision. Was he going to buy more chicks in order to replace the animals that have died and the animals that will ultimately end up you know on meat trays, um, and that he really had no choice because he couldn't guarantee that all the chicks were going to be healthy, but at the same time it's kind of like being between a rock and a hard place. And I think I said 15 million since 2022, when bird flu started, since 2022 to now, 156 million birds have died. And of course, that adds to the price of eggs, right? That's 156 million birds. Even if there's only half of them, that's what 70 some million that are not producing eggs. So yeah, all righty. And yeah, yes, Baron is on his way to being just like 45. You can see the derangement in his eyes. Plus, he was on a Nazi podcast. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I have, excuse me. I have always felt that there was something off about Baron. Um, and again, I have to keep saying it, entertainment purposes only. Um, Even from the time that he was a child, he his it's like he didn't have um, any social skills. Now I know that there are, whether it's Asperger's, it could be something else that very often they kind of don't have that filter, right? So and some kids with autism, it's kind of the same way, that they can be very, very intelligent. They just do lack a lot of social skills. So I've always felt that he was either on the spectrum or that he had autism, because just the way that um, his actions, his mannerisms, it just never sat right with me. And of course, you know that Donald was never going to admit that there's anything wrong with his child. So that's why he spent so much time with Melania and her parents, right? So yeah, she knew she knew what she was raising. She did her very best to protect him in a lot of ways, and yet, there he is. He's still he's turning out to be his father's son. Yeah. Hello, Suzanne. Yeah. He yes, innocent potato. He does appear to be on the spectrum. It just yeah. And you know what? I say that with all compassion for parents who are um, dealing with either a child on the spectrum or a child that has autism, Asperger's, and so on, because I know what a struggle that is. Um, and I know that it's not something that they would want for anyone. So it's not. I don't mean it in terms of saying that because I think Barron Trump is on the spectrum, that there's something wrong with people on the spectrum. They aren't. They are incredibly smart in other ways. They really are, and the very good imagination, very good sometimes um, critical thinking skills. And I'll very quickly, I'll give you an example. One of my dear friends, her son is he's got Asperger's. He is in college at the moment, and learning has been a challenge for him, but learning in terms of traditional ways of learning. But I think he was about maybe 5 or 6 that he had woken his mom up in the morning, and she had said to him, come on, it's the weekend, that mom likes to sleep in a little bit on the weekend, so just let me sleep in until 9 o'clock, okay? And he said, oh, all right. And he left her, and she said she could hear him moving around outside the bedroom, but he was being very, very quiet. And after about 10 minutes, he came in and he had her cell phone. And he said, look, Mom, time to get up. It's 9 o'clock. And he showed on her cell phone what he had done is he had put a sticky note on it that's with 900. It's 9 o'clock. So she laughed. She got out of bed. Every single clock that was in the house, whether it was, the digital clock on the stove or whatever, had a sticky note over top of it that showed 9 o'clock. So that is someone who's thinking outside the box. He did not like the reality that she was presenting him with, so he changed the reality. So yeah, they are very, very, very incredible kids in a lot of ways. Okay, that having been said, and we did that. Oh, yes. Yeah, I started to talk earlier about Kash Patel, who is the new FBI director. And he said that, yeah, he wants to relocate 1,500 employees. Relocate them to where? Guantanamo? The southern border? Does he want to get them away from Washington, D.C.? So, yes, Linda De Gonzalez. Yeah, I'm going to do that with my bank balance. Yes. Yeah. I can't be overdrawn. I still have checks left. Right? Okay. So, yes, Kash Patel. Where does he think that he's going to relocate these 1,500 employees to? Where's he going to send them? Oh. He's going to tell him to just go home, go to bed, have a little nap. I'll call you when I need you. Oh my goodness gracious. There are we can't do anything but laugh about this because the absurdity is just absolutely out of this world. Oh, Linda Bravo, relocate them to Greenland. I don't know. They have to apply for, visas and work permits and, all that kind of regular stuff. The student has it. Yes, I replied. Nice. So, okay, I'm going to go back to what is that? The visions in the liminal space, and see what else. Okay. Yeah. Trump says he wants to take control of the USPS. How's that going to work? Oh my goodness gracious. I did shuffle. The Divine Mother. He really does. Seriously, if anyone can tell me, does anyone know what color is the sky in his world? Yeah. Yes, they can lock him in his office. They can send him on a wild goose chase. Yeah, I know, Annette. Everyone is, and I mean, really, we're 4 weeks as of yesterday, 4 weeks into the administration, and it feels like it's been 4 years of this. So the more turmoil that we see, the closer we are to the end of all this. Trust me. Trust me. I have a sense that we're going to wake up one day and we're going to see a lot of people in handcuffs. And we're going to see a lot of people trying to get out of the US. And I don't mean the regular people. I mean the people who realize that the gig is up, that, the police are coming to knock on your door and they're not coming to see if you want to buy tickets for the policeman's ball. So it is going to be interesting. But I still have that sense of everything is going to be fine, and we're going to be here to kind of create that brand new world. Yeah. And yes, stay positive. Yeah. And he is, Sharon. He is a clown. It's, look over here. No, look over here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take over Canada. I'm going to do. Well, if anyone saw, what's his name? Kudlow, Larry Kudlow. Yeah. Had to actually admit that, there might be some price increases, for a short term. There might be some short term things that are not going to go well, because the stock market was down. That a lot of the financial sectors they're not performing the way that they were under Biden. Imagine that. Yes. Republican reps are being shredded at town hall meetings. Yes, Rose Blue, I did happen to see that. And they're doing their very best to try to walk it back. And they're not doing a very good job of it. They really, really aren't. And I think Trump was at the White House and he was giving some kind of speech or whatnot. There was a bunch of people sitting at tables. I don't know if it was a lunch or something. And he was talking about I think it was Susan Collins that he was talking about. I think she's the senator from Maine. And it could have been maybe the governor from, anyway, it was somebody from Maine, somebody big and important from Maine. And he put this woman on the spot and wanted her to say that, yeah, they're going to go along with his policy on DEI. And she said, no, I don't think so. And he said, well, if you don't, you're not going to get any federal funds. So there, how's that? If you don't go along with it, you get no federal money. And her response was, well, then we'll take you to court. And he said, oh, yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, that'll be an easy one to win. Yeah, you're just not going to get any federal funds. That's all. And I thought, if that's his attitude, that, people who don't agree with me, you're not getting any federal funds, then don't send in any federal funds. When the taxes that are being collected should stay in the state where they're at, right? I mean, you can't have it both ways. Shit or get off the pot. What do you want? Either you accept money that comes in that is supposed to be for everyone, Or you say, no, okay, we're going to hang on to it. We don't get any federal support. Why should we support the federal? Makes total sense to me. In fact, wasn't there a war in the US that was fought, something along those lines? I think it was taxation without representation, and there was a bunch of tea that went in the harbor. I don't know. I'm not always good with facts. And yes, Jane, block taxes from your paycheck. No, not sending it in. And especially now that they are here, we're all, I mean, Canada, yeah, we do our taxes. We have to have them done by the end of April. So, and I think you probably do as well, maybe April 1st or 30th or whatnot. So just as we're kind of gearing into tax season, they are laying off a bunch of IRS people. That makes sense. That makes total sense. So, where you had to wait for a month to get your refund, well, now, you might have to wait 3 or 4 months and hope that the check clears. Can you imagine that? Hoping that a check from the government clears? Wow. And yes, Innocent Potato, everyone should request a tax extension by all means. By all means. Hang on to it until the very last second. And even then, and I mean, and I'm all for following the law and all that kind of stuff. But if you don't file your taxes and if you don't pay what you owe, who's going to come after you? The IRS? Well, their numbers are just going to decrease tremendously. So, anyway, yeah. And so there. And of course, you all heard, and this was, I think it was announced yesterday or the day before, that Mitch McConnell is not going to be running for re-election in 2026. Oh, yeah. He announced it was his 83rd birthday, and he announced that, yeah, he's not going to be doing it. And the first thing that I thought of is, oh, you feckless little idiot. You know that Kentucky is really, it's really going to be suffering under some of these tariffs. And there's no way that Mitch can explain it to any of his supporters, because they're going to start to lose money. The state is going to start to lose money. People are going to start to lose their jobs. So yeah, now is the time for him to get out. Now is the time. He's another one that people are going to be talking about and saying, well, this is what happens when you put your self-serving interest over the interest of the people who elected you, and you lie to them. You continuously lie to them and give them, disinformation and so on. And now, yeah, he's a little concerned about Trump. Huh. Turtle, you're a day late and a dollar short. Yeah. Tea Garden says, yeah, feckless. My language was a little stronger. That's all right. You're allowed to do that. Yes, Maureen Damico. Yes. In the words of Naughty Nana Does, D-U-Z. Yeah. Yeah, feckin' idiot. And for those of you, if you have not had a chance to listen to Naughty Nana Does, D-U-Z or D-U-Z, go check out her channel. This lady, she she doesn't do readings or whatnot, but she's Canadian. She's from Newfoundland. Heart of gold, but no bullshit. No bullshit. She says it like it is. And yeah, that feckinage came from her. And that is I think it's like a Celtic expression, whatever. And every time she says it, I burst out laughing because I just think it's so funny. So, and she's, when she's doing the commentary on different things that go on, she's got her facts. She knows what she's talking about. So, yeah, mango moose knuckle. Yes, ma'am, that's her. That'll be the one. And mango moose knuckle. All righty. Well, you guys, we are at 1 hour and pure Irish of her. Yes, Linda. Yeah. Yes. Oh, Edward Kenneth. Another fun one is pissed off bartender. Okay, I'm gonna check that out. I will. I'm gonna check that out. So I hope that you enjoyed the show without my sidekick. And I sure do miss her, and I hope that the lights will come back on for her. And it's yeah, poor Aley. It's been one thing after another for a good number of months, and it's like, okay, can we all just send collective energy out to put a bubble around Aley and her home so that give her a few weeks of respite where she doesn't have something that she has to deal with. So anyway, yes. Thank you to each and every one of you. Again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe to the channel. And if you hit the little notification button, you'll get a notification before I go on or before I do any lives or whatnot. And tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, join me on my channel for the 4th Shine Your Light event. And I'm really, really looking forward to it. I think I mentioned the other day, but I'll mention it again. So far, barring any unforeseen circumstances, Linda G is going to be there. Mel Dore is going to be there. Celtic Tarot Sheila is going to be there. Of course, Val and Sherry from Trancing with Spirit are going to be there. Michelle Marie is going to be there, talking about Vedic astrology and the times. And then if you want to join us, particularly for the end, and that's going to be 7 p.m. Pacific, or after 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to close the show with Terry Suzuki, who is going to be doing an Akashic record healing and clearing. And the energy after that is just phenomenal. So make sure that you come and join me tomorrow for that. 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All righty, everyone. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.